Oh, you're seeing my face. I'm so sorry. My apologies. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, after that great game, you rather see a nice graphic, right? Yeah. Well, you know what? Here you go, folks. It is Tuesday, February 20th, 2018. The Sharks win 3-2 over the St. Louis Blues. That daunting Central Division road trip begins for the San Jose Sharks, and it begins on a high note. Kind of like my voice. Pardon me, I've been recovering from a flu, but nothing less. We're going to get through it. This is Teal Town After Dark. We are your live and interactive post-game show for all things San Jose Sharks. We welcome you and we welcome the world on YouTube and online, and you are here to be a part of the conversation, or should I say, chopversation? Maybe not. Okay. Nonetheless, use the hashtag TealTownUSA if you're on the Twitter machine, or if you're watching this live on YouTube right now, join us in the YouTube chat on the page or the app. Joining me tonight, my fellow Notch Bro, Gentry Alexander. What's up, buddy?
Oh, I'm good. Just having a good day, and Sharks wins always make things better. So let's get to it.
Let's grip it and rip it and get on
Yeah.
it, as Alan McGinnis kind of said before. First period, lots of back and forth play on there. Realistically, let's be honest here. It was one period that kind of had everything condensed into a 60-minute game was condensed into a 20-minute game. However, in the first period, the Sharks outshot the Blues 12-8. I think back and forth, the Blues had a number of chances, but also the Sharks had plenty of chances, and they came on strong and just seems like they are getting some good chemistry out of these lines despite the injuries, Jet.
Oh no, definitely. I think for some reason, just that Tierney Bodker combination lately has just been coming on strong. Never would have thought about that during how the season began and how Bodker has just been a waste of cap space. But lately, hey, if he can get hot at the right time, we all he has a history of being a streaky scorer and getting hot at the right time. So if that stays the way that it is, you know, I'm all for the hot bod.
Yes, which seems to be. I mean, let's be real here. As much as Brody has been making fun of it, it's kind of fit him. And in fact, as we dive into this game, let's just put it out there, folks. This was tweeted out at 4:02 p.m., so about an hour before the game happens. If Mikhail Bodker scores tonight to extend his goal streak to 4 games, I will buy a jersey with his name on it. Hashtag SJ Sharks. That was from Hockey Trick before the game. Well, he assisted, I believe. Let me get my stats up right here. Um, he did assist on Logan Couture's 24th on the season from Bodker and Braun at 6:35. Gent, nice play by Braun and Bodker. Nice movement down low to Couture where he just roofed it.
You
Makes
know
it one
what?
nothing good early.
You know what? When you're facing a team that's right now kind of in a slog like St. Louis, you have to capitalize them while they're getting as good. After coming off of a hot start that St. Louis did at the beginning of the season, they've just found themselves in kind of a lull, trying anything to spark their team, trying to getting Soshnikov, trying to get their goaltending going. So I think if you capitalize on them while they're you know trying to think of the right word.
While they're down,
While they're
even
down,
when they're down, yes.
yeah, exactly. And I think that we've shown dominance over St. Louis since the 2016 Western Conference Finals. So I'm all for that.
Yeah, no, that always helps. That always helps. And to have depth scoring is something that this team needs, and it's what got them to a Stanley Cup final 2 years ago.
Hmm.
Um, Unfortunately, uh, just less than 2 minutes later, Ivan Barbashev gets his fourth on the year from Brodziak and Yaskin to tie the game up. Um, Tough goal, but nonetheless, like everything else, Jones always seems to let like that one goal in, that one meh goal. and then he stays strong throughout the rest of the night, which is always good.
Yeah, I don't know what it is right now. It's like Jones has stretches where he's like elite levels, can just do no wrong. And then lately it's just been like he's been up and down this season. And I don't know if it's confidence, lingering injury, or just kind of the defense leaving him out to dry and not having that much confidence in the group in front of him. But, you need Jones to rebound very quickly after letting in soft ones because you need to get him back on track.
But that's the thing is that he's been getting a lot better within the last week or so.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to be joined in by fellow hoodie Kevin Lacey. What's up, Kevin? Sorry, I forgot the memo, guys. I apologize.
I should get my beanie.
Unfortunately, well, I was like watching the game as I'm sitting in traffic, so sorry. I just got home.
You're good. You're good. You're here. You made it, Kevin. How are you, bud? I'm glad you made it on tonight.
Thanks.
But kind of fending off of what Gentry's saying, what did you think of Jones tonight?
Well, I've been watching the USA Czech Republic game, so I saw Jones give up one goal on one shot, and that's just not good enough. But
that's it. Trade him. Get rid of them all.
Hey, you can get a conditional third rounder for him from the looks of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have too much to say about Martin Jones, but I don't know. I just think that he gets a lot of flack because, hey, he's the guy. And if the Sharks are losing, then he's public enemy number one because he's the goalie. And if they're winning, then everyone loves him and all is well. I think the Philadelphia hot and coldness, people need to just let it go. If he doesn't work out in the playoffs, that's the big story there. But I'm okay with Martin Jones, and I do think he's been better lately. So.
Yeah, well, he's been pretty solid as of late, including that game against Vancouver. Sorry, had to get that in there. But nonetheless, the keep going with the depth scoring of this team. 12:05 of the second period. Jonas Donskoi with his 11th. He gets off the Schneid guys, Kevin. I mean, that was a nice play from Couture and Vlasic at 12:05.
Yeah, good shot. Good shot. I mean, pretty much all the goals were that. I mean, I only saw 3 goals, but they were all nice snipes. Like, no, good shot.
Yeah. Jen, and let's talk about that. We're not just getting the tips like we usually would get from Pavelski with his Burns shooting from the point. We're getting some nice shots. They're getting some lanes to shoot at as well, which is always nice to see.
I like that because it means that the Sharks maybe have figured out that thing of, shooting it onto the net instead of shooting it just wide. Yes. I think a lot of it just, it's coming from confidence. I think Donskoi has just been exploding this year. He's just, he's found a great chemistry, or he's always had a great chemistry with Couture. It's now coming to the forefront, and I good shots. You miss the shots you don't take, so he's taking his. Good for him.
And you miss the shots you don't get on net either, for that matter, right, guys? Yeah. Speaking of guys who are getting shots on net, Mikkel Bodker, he extends his streak to 4 games, his 12th on the year from Tierney, and Jannik Hansen with his 7th assist on the night at 15:54.
Trade him now.
He's probably got his best value right now as a Shark as we speak, to make it 3-1 San Jose. Did you get to see this one, Kevin?
No, but I do want to touch up on both of those Danish fiends, I guess you'd say, because Jannik Hansen, ever since he's come back into the lineup, obviously he's only in the lineup because of the injury woes. That was the only way he could get back in. But he has looked a little rejuvenated. I don't know if maybe he had an injury himself. I didn't think he was playing as bad as a lot of people thought, but he certainly wasn't putting up any offense. So it's good to see he's playing with a lot of passion, I feel, and that's a big MO to his game. And then the other thing, just with Bodker, before you actually break down the goal, if you saw it, Gentry, is that I think the last time I was on the show, I said, hey, maybe Bodker needs to be on a team where he's the guy. And right now, with all the injuries, Bodker has to be the guy, and he's actually excelling at it. So, hey, I mean, if he's going to keep shooting, keep scoring off the rush, I don't know how he scored his goal because I didn't see it, but he's been shooting a lot more off the rush lately, and that is huge for a guy like him.
I just think he just had no puck luck to begin this. Like, just in his entire tenure as a Shark so far, he's just had no puck luck. He's had his chances. It's either gone wide or it's just been, a miraculous save from the goalie. But lately it's just, like I said, you get Bodker hot, he becomes hot bod. And, when you find the chemistry that he's been having with, Tierney in that lineup, maybe he doesn't need to be the guy, but he's kind of like, maybe if you use him in a Phil Kessel like role where he's like a third liner, but we pay him to be like a top 6 forward, hey, why not?
Yeah, that's pretty much what was happening.
But nonetheless, the Sharks look like they're about to go up 3-1 on the Blues. Unfortunately, a penalty, which I call to Burns. I don't know. What was it? Schwartz, I believe. Ends up, giving the Blues a power play late in the period. Tarasenko gets his 3rd goal in his last 11 games, his 24th on the season from Dunn late in the period. That pretty much finished up the scoring.
Can I ask you about that?
Yeah.
Because I only the last time I checked in on the game, I guess Meyer got tripped in the 3rd period, and there was absolutely no call. Brett Hedican blew a gasket, and he's like, how does Brent Burns get called? Now, I didn't see the Brent Burns thing, so can you explain what happened?
Yeah, basically, there was a stick there, but it wasn't anything particular, and he was kind of pushing the guy, how he just does his forearm shiver. And unfortunately, it looks like a trip, but I think Schwartz went down a little easy, though. Nonetheless, the Sharks PK didn't get it done there, which is one of the few rare times they have allowed a power play goal this season. So give it up for the top PK team in the league. Just didn't happen there. Nonetheless, 3-2 Sharks lead. They basically go shutdown mode as St. Louis outshot the Sharks 25-11 in the final 40 minutes. Martin Jones finishes the game with 31 saves on 33 shots. Carter Hutton, who pretty much owns the Sharks, just had that bad period, guys. And, it's one of those things where if you just keep getting some shots, it's maybe not how many you take, but
get it right. It's former Sharks bench hand Carter Hutton.
My bad.
I mean, he dressed for 24 games with the Sharks or something like that. Didn't appear in any of them.
No. No, I think crap. Jen, this inside joke. Baby Carrot got more playing time than Carter Hutton. You can't say that, but
No.
nonetheless, Kevin will tell you offline. But
it's fine.
You'll laugh about it, but nonetheless, Dmitry Patzel, that's the guy's name. Yeah, Dmitry Patzel got more playing time as a Shark than Carter Hutton.
And Dmitry Patzel. I was there for his NHL debut, and I wish I wasn't.
No bueno. But overall thoughts, let's give you an update really quick. The Czech Republic is going back on the power play with 16:25 left to go in the second period. It is 1-1 between the U.S. and the Czech Republic in this quarterfinal game. We'll keep you up to date on that. But guys, back to the Sharks. Overall tonight, I thought a solid game from Team Teal, and especially shutdown mode once they pulled their goaltender.
Yeah, I think with the Sharks right now, it's like, but I really want to touch upon one thing is that, other than that kind of flukish power play goal that went straight to Tarasenko,
Yeah.
like it was just bad puck luck. You can't really blame anybody for that. It was a really nifty move by Vince Dunn, to get it by Couture and just fired it, and it just left a juicy rebound. And I don't think Jones thought that Tarasenko was on his off wing like that. And but hey, I needed the fantasy points, so thanks, Tarasenko. You have done nothing for me lately.
Eric, you muted yourself.
That's what I get because I'm trying to blow my nose. But
Oh.
there is a running theme. Gentry and I are playing each other in fantasy hockey this week, so thank you, Martin Jones, for the win. Kevin, you were going to say something. I'm sorry.
I was?
I thought you were.
Oh, I was just going to make a comment that, you mentioned Vince Dunn, Gentry, and what a rookie season for him on the St. Louis Blue Line, because he's basically made the fans forget all about Kevin Shattenkirk.
Mm-hmm. I think between him and Parenko, it's like I feel like after that, they're like St. Louis knew that they had a better blue line in the pipe, in their prospect pool, and could afford and just said, here, you want Shattenkirk, we want first round picks and second round picks,
right?
And that's all they needed. So
no. And there's more defensemen on the way for the Blues too. That's the crazy thing. So
But so the Sharks, so let's go over the stats really quick before we have Kevin Lacey break out his Gary Bettman impression.
That's the only reason I'm on here. Let's face
it. Can I just say that's one thing that's kind of disconcerting right now? Like, I was looking at the ice times, and I saw that everybody was in triple digits, or double digits, sorry, except for Sorensen, O'Regan, and that's kind of.
Have you guys noticed any kind of trend with? I'm purely asking. I don't know. Have you guys noticed some kind of trend where Peter DeBoer is less inclined to play the rookies on the road? Like, it's I don't know why. It just feels like he is over reliant on the top six when he's on the road, and he's more likely to play the fourth line when he's at home. I don't know.
I've kind of seen that a little bit where he's been using like the top three lines in, especially in the third period with the youngsters. And I think even on the broadcast, Randy and Hetty mentioned that Kevin LeBanc didn't have much time in the third period either. Gen X in the chat, entire defense is playing like they have post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay. He also needs a goalie, wait and see on defense, get a goalie who doesn't have, say, 50 in one game, and then give up 6 cupcakes on the 30th next. Okay.
I'm lost, bro.
Yeah, no, I know. Sorensen did get hurt in this game, and I know I think he came back briefly. That was the Isles defense that has that. Gotcha. But nonetheless,
Sorensen got hurt. Who else is left to call up?
Well, I think Kevin, you're next, and
all right,
me.
I'm a defenseman.
Even better.
Silver Creek.
Now that Paul Martin's
2 hours, by the way.
Yeah. But do you really? Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I was gonna take my pregame nap, but I heard, Kevin, we have a trade to announce.
Nonetheless, but I mean, we do have a new guy that's going to be coming in. Also, Rudolph Balcers is with the Bing Club. I know both of you are excited for that one. We'll see if he gets into anything. However, Kevin,
we have a trade to announce.
Absolutely, we do, and this is the new guy.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
The San Jose Sharks acquire Eric Fair from let's face it, from the Anaheim Ducks, because the Maple Leafs stashed him down in their farm system. And he's been killing it for San Diego, by the way, for a 2027th round pick. 2020. Barbara Walters up in here.
Well, hindsight.
Well played.
Well done, you guys.
By the way, you jumped on that Eric Fair in the Sharks jersey graphic there.
Thank you. That was a pretty good Photoshop job really quick during the game.
Nice.
But nonetheless, the new guy, Eric Fair, who spells his name the wrong way, me and Landy would both say that. Like Lacey said, from essentially Toronto, although it's technically from AHL San Diego, where he's played 34 games this season for the Gulls. He has 17 goals, 11 assists. A couple weekends ago, he did score 2 goals for the Gulls in San Jose against the Barracuda. That might have swayed Doug Wilson to maybe pull for something. It also, let's be honest, mentioned that he did play 4 games for Toronto when he essentially was battling former Shark Dominic Moore for the 4th line center spot, and he lost out, so he was essentially loaned to the Gulls in the meantime. However, in his decade-long career, he has played 566 games with 103 goals, 99 assists, mostly for Washington, but he also played for Pittsburgh and Toronto. He was on the team that won the Stanley Cup over the San Jose Sharks, which prompted Kevin's tweet, which was...
I didn't bring it up, but... I can.
And as
basically,
that happens,
hey, the Sharks acquired someone who actually has raised the cup in SAP Center.
Too soon. And speaking of too soon, the Czech Republic have taken a 2-1 lead on a goal that wasn't by Tomáš Hertl. It was it looks like from a shot from a point that looked a little screened, and that gives that it's
Tomáš Kondratek.
Thank you for saying that name.
Maybe tipped in by Tomáš Myrtle, not Hertl.
Are you serious? That's Myrtle?
No, yeah, I swear to God. The guy in front of the net was Tomáš Myrtle, who is older, and I heard about first before there was ever some guy named Hertl in the Czech league. So that's a side story, but yeah.
Gotcha. So with 11:37 to go in the second, the Czech Republic have taken a 2-1 lead on the United States in the quarterfinal match. Nonetheless, back to Eric Fair.
Yeah.
Jet, what do you think of picking up a 4th line center? This was apparently what the Sharks were looking for. They don't give up much. Granted, this was the round that we picked Pavelski at years ago, but what do you think?
The Sharks will get that pick back when they, trade Paul Martin somewhere. No, I honestly think I like this trade. You don't give up much for a 4th line center. He's got NHL experience, and hey, if the Sharks ever get a Winter Classic game, Eric Fair can step in and score a couple goals.
They'd have to randomly reschedule this season though before he becomes a free agent.
I mean, I like it. I think he's just a hard worker. He could play top 6. He's done it before. And let's all remember he scored a goal against the Sharks in the Stanley Cup final that ended up winning the game for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, I was there for that.
That was game 4, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Then that was the game that we were at. But Kevin, what do you think from Eric Fair for giving up a 2027th rounder? I mean, in low cap, not too bad, right?
No, why not? Honestly, why not? Eric Fair has had this problem where the only team he's ever really produced has been Washington in both stints. He did okay for Pittsburgh for a while, but he didn't do anything for Winnipeg. He didn't do anything for Toronto. He's had a nice bounce back year in San Diego. And like Gentry said it earlier, the Sharks will replenish this pick because what does Doug Wilson do every draft? He moves down. He always moves down in the draft. So the Sharks will probably end up with like 5 2020 draft picks and trade 3 of them by that time. It's going to be inconsequential. So to add a player like Eric Fair, who's got experience, why not? I still would rather have just kept Carpenter instead of letting him go for nothing.
Yeah.
But, I'm okay with this. I just hope that this isn't the only move that the Sharks make before the trade deadline, because then people will sour Eric Fair just by proxy.
Mm-hmm.
The same way that they've kind of done with Yannick Hansen. But
Yeah.
but guys, if tell me I'm wrong, not counting our re-signings like Burns, Vlasic, or Carpenter or stuff like that, this is the first pretty much transaction Wilson's done all year, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
And that's
I'm pretty sure. So it's been very quiet from Doug Wilson. Now, granted, he has pretty much literally half the Barracuda team up with the Sharks right now, and doesn't have much to do with, especially with the second or third picks he doesn't have this year, thanks to making a cup run in 2016. So he's kind of made him stuck in that sense, right? I mean, he really hasn't been able to do much just because of the situation he's been in.
And we've seen it around the league where everyone is hesitant to make trades this year. I mean, everyone's been hesitant to make trades the last several years.
It's not that everybody's hesitant to make trades. It's that everybody is asking way, way, way too much. Sorry, did USA just score?
We got a goal here.
We have a goal to announce, a shorthanded goal for the United States as they tie this game up at 2-2 with 9:32 to go in the second period. And thank you, because they're using the Stockton Thunder goal horn. Anyhow, back to that,
Brian
guys.
O'Neill setting that up. I think he's going to get a contract, by the way, Brian O'Neill. Brian O'Neill. I mean, he's an AHLer, but I mean, I think there are going to be a few guys in this Olympics who will end up back in the AHL next year just because they're making a name for themselves. O'Neill, maybe Zapolsky, the goalie, No. That was Jim Slater. Wow. Former Atlanta Thrasher Jim Slater with the goal.
Wow.
So nonetheless, it's tied 2-2 in that, but kind of to wrap up the trade stuff, guys.
Oh yeah.
I think DW was stuck in what he can do this year, and he hasn't been able to do much. Now with these injuries, he definitely can't do it much, because we've talked about trading Ward, trading Bodker. Now because of all these injuries, he can't do anything.
No, he's in limbo, and I think he would like to make a couple more moves just to kind of shore it, maybe add another, puck moving left-handed defenseman. I think he would like that. Just add some type of depth here and there. I don't think he'll make any necessarily big moves. Maybe he'll do something at the draft, but I think right now he's kind of stuck with what he has, and he's kind of hoping that Jumbo, Ward, and those guys come back and are healthy.
And like Chenex said in the chat earlier, this move might mean that, Jumbo's not ready to go till maybe April. But to quickly wrap it up.
One of the things on Fair is, if I recall, he's 6'3", 215. So he's not a small guy. He's a guy who can, especially with Ward being out, Fair can be a guy who parks in front of the net and takes abuse and whatnot. Which
is always a key role, especially how this team is built. It's built to be big, can have some speed, but can be a thumper too, which will be helpful come playoff time. So with that, guys, let's move on to the NHL wraparound. Yes, wraparound. People wrap around. Not what the other people you call in the chat. I know what you're thinking over there.
The NHL turnaround, right?
Yes. Every now and then we score a goal and we talk about it. No, sorry.
What? All right.
Turn around.
No jingles. No jingles.
All right. Games in progress right now. In 9:05 left in the third period, the Oilers are up on the Bruins 2-1. Acciari. Dang it. Acciari with the lone goal for the Bruins. Strome and Kyra for the Oilers.
It's okay.
No, you're good. No, you're good. I should have looked at.
I almost
freaking pronunciation
Strome, but I just couldn't do that to you.
It's like, no, I know that one's true. Up in Vancouver, the Canucks are tied with the Avalanche 1-1 second period. Jost for the Avalanche with a power play goal. Archibald with his first of the year for the Canucks. Those both came in the second period, and they're midway through the second up in BC.
Good for Jost.
Finals tonight in Toronto. James Van Riemsdyk scores the only goal with 29 seconds left in the first period to give the Leafs a 1-0 win over the Florida Panthers. I believe this was Luongo's second game back. So decent showing from him.
40 save shutout for somebody who should be in the Vezina and Hart conversation, Frederik Andersen. I'm sorry. He has faced the most shots this year, and he has stood on his head, and he has kept I'm sorry, not Montreal. Toronto in most of the games this year. So I think he should be up for the Vezina conversation. And at least Hart.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, definitely. Especially from Toronto, he'll definitely get some votes in that. In New Jersey, the Blue Jackets win 2-1 over the Devils. Devils are struggling here as this is a key matchup for the wild card spot in the East. Hall gets the only goal for the Devils, his 25th on the year. Boone Jenner gets his 6th. Harrington his 2nd. As Sergei Bobrovsky gets the win for the Neon Buggers.
Not off the case anymore. He's a loose cannon.
That's right.
He's just what the sports needs.
In Philly, 3-2, the Flyers win over the Montreal Canadiens. Nolan Patrick gets a power play goal. Voracek gets 2 goals, including the game winner in overtime as Carey Price goes down. Lyon gets the victory as Peter Mrazek was the backup in this game. Looks like he'll get the start next game for the Flyers after they make a trade yesterday for a goaltender.
Good for Alex Lyon, though. I don't know what young goalie the Flyers have that I don't like. So, I mean, I'm glad he's getting a chance here before Mrazek takes.
But it's okay. The Flyers will ruin their young goalies.
You know what? Why do you think they have like 7 all-world prospect goalies? Because they're hoping that one of them won't get messed up in that system.
They'll sign him to a 9-year deal, and then he'll turn into a meme. Like,
yeah.
Guys, you know that Cleveland Browns jersey that started with Tim Couch and has like the tape of like every quarterback that came after him?
I've never seen it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay. The Flyers could probably have the same thing from Hextall onward.
Yeah.
So, moving on, in Washington, Tampa Bay wins 4-2 over the Capitals. Nikita Kucherov in the third period pulls the all-star move on Holtby again that made him have a fit. That was the 4-2 goal. Braden Point, Chris Kunitz, and Braden Point again all scored early for the Lightning. Ovechkin gets his 36th on the year. You're welcome, Jen. For the Caps as they go to 34-19-7. The Lightning now go up to 83 points. I believe they surpass the Golden Knights for now in the top spot of the league. In Detroit, the Predators beat the Red Wings 3-2 as Hartnell, Turris, and Arvidsson get goals for the Predators as Saros gets another win for the Predators as Jimmy Howard is now the main guy once again in Detroit. No tandem now.
I'm curious because now with Mrazek out, Jared Coreau, I haven't checked the transaction wire, but I'm sure he got called up.
No, he's up.
He's up? Yeah, he was dominant for the Griffins last year in their way to the Calder Cup, and he's the reigning AHL Player of the Week, so he might still be splitting some time.
And let's remember, he started in the Centennial for the Red Wings last year.
Just gonna say that he played a pretty good game in that game. Just lost it to Austin Matthews and the Leafs in that one.
I think that game really boosted his confidence that he could play in the NHL, though.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Up. Post-Teal Syndrome to announce Nikolai Goldobin has officially scored for the Vancouver Canucks
Oh, and that makes
on
it
the
now.
power play.
Oh, at 13:01, as the Canucks take a 2-1 lead with 6.5 to go in the second period. Thank you, Gentry, for that update. The other final as well, Kings beat the Jets 4-3. Damn it, Winnipeg, come on. As Post-Teal Syndrome here too, Tiny Tory Turnover Mitchell gets his 5th on the year, a howitzer at 6:17 of the third. Dustin Brown gets the game-winning goal with 15:54 left. Blake Wheeler, Dustin Bufflin, and Patrick Laine all get goals for the Jets as Connor Hellebuyck gets the loss. We told you about the Blues, 3-2 losers to the Sharks. So at the moment, the standings, and let me get my screen up again. Thank you. The standings, you don't need to know about the East. In the West,
you want to talk about shots going wide earlier? Man, the Americans have just taken about 7 shots in a row, and none of them have hit the net. It's like, come on, guys.
Come on, boys. Seriously. Update since Kevin mentioned it. 3:40 left in the second period. It is tied 2-2 between the U.S. and the Czech Republic. Updates for the standings right now. Nashville, with the win, goes to 81 points. They have now taken first place from Winnipeg. They've kind of been going back and forth, actually. Winnipeg, with the loss, stays at 79. And Nashville has a game in hand on the Jets. Dallas took over the third spot from the wild card spot at 72, even though they're tied with St. Louis for points. They've played 2 fewer games. In the Pacific, nothing much has changed here. However, LA leapfrogs Anaheim because of their games in hand and the rows, for that matter, too. And LA has 31 rows, so if they are able to catch up to the Sharks at the moment, they would have an edge on the Sharks for the all-important seeding for the first round. Vegas is at 82. The Sharks win puts them now 8 points back. The wild card, as we speak, St. Louis at 72, Minnesota at 71, but trailing right behind them, Anaheim's at 71, Calgary's at 69. Colorado's kind of stepped back a little bit as they've lost 2 straight. They're at 66, and Chicago, unfortunately, is now really fallen apart at 1-8-1.
They started to sell pieces too. They traded Michael Kempney yesterday, so.
Yeah, they're starting to go into sell mode, along with Edmonton, Vancouver, and Arizona. So, very interesting.
So, let's ask this question right now to the chat. What are you going to be more pissed off by? If Chicago or Edmonton wins the lottery?
Huh.
Kevin?
Actually, a really good question. I think I'd still be more pissed at Edmonton. But
don't worry, because they still don't win, because they'll have everything, but they still can't pull it together. I'd be more ticked if it was Chicago, because that's just the NHL going, here you go, we already give you Taves and Kane. We'll just give you an all-world defenseman out of it.
Which they could use to replace Seabrook and or Duncan Keith down the road.
So far, the all I've been seeing is Edmonton. I think Buffalo will get Darling. Huh?
No, I want like the 11th worst team to jump up and win the lottery. Something crazy.
Right? Like
awesome.
Like say of course I would say this. It would be like Anaheim just missing the playoffs, and then Anaheim gets the number 1 pick.
No, I'd be mad that happened, because they already got Cam Fowler, because like 10 teams jumped over Cam Fowler for some stupid reason, and they drafted him like 14th overall.
I was kind of ticked off at this draft when we were just a pick away and we could have gotten Liljegren, but
the USA is on a power play.
Copyright permitting, if USA scores, I want you to play Living in America.
Right? So USA is on a power play with 2.5 to go in the second period. final thoughts before we get while we get out of here. I'll first start off with you, Gentry. Your final thoughts and where the people can find you online.
Final thoughts. The Sharks escape with the win. They needed the win. It's 2 points because right now points are points, so you can't argue with how they get them. You just got to get them. You can find me on Twitter atjalexander46, Instagram the same thing. And yeah, so this is all the games matter now, guys. So either buy in or get the F out.
Yeah, we're pretty much at the three quarter mark. Felix Chow, is it still a chump if it's Team USA? I guess since McCarthy's on team. Yeah, I have the power play music and might as well just go with it since this is Teal Town After Dark. One thing, fact or fiction, that Rob Ivan Stan Bowman is scapegoated this offseason.
No, I don't think that. I think he's done too much for them. Joel Quenneville might.
No, he's gonna get.
But
Scott or Bowman's gonna get fired and then hired by the new Seattle team, and then they're gonna go on a tear.
Oh no!
Hey,
that's not far off. Although they've also mentioned that maybe Ken Holland's contract doesn't get renewed in Detroit.
I think Bruckheimer and company that owns the Seattle team is going to realize, well, this is the same general manager who signed Johan Franzen until he's like 45. Yeah, so that they're not going to sign him. Yeah. I think they'll go with Scott Bowman or Stan Bowman if he gets fired.
Vince G in the chat, Chicago would piss me off more. Stop me if you hear this one. Storied franchise on the downward trend gets saved by a generational talent. Yeah, I know. Vince G, you are so right. Rob Ivan, just don't play party in the USA. Kevin, your final thoughts on where the people can find you.
Well, big 2 points for the Sharks tonight over against a team like the Blues, who, I mean, they're falling down a bit, and I had predicted them to win the President's Trophy this year, and they were up there for a while. Now they're not. They're in a wild card spot. So, but enough about the Blues. The Sharks, just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, they're still exceeding my expectations. So, acquiring Fair, all right, why not? It's not going to hurt them. And,
it's not going to hurt them. No.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Hopefully Sorensen's okay. I'm still waiting for John McCarthy's big Olympic moment. Maybe tonight's the night he scores an OT. I don't know. And I got to brush this impression off because I haven't done it in a really long time. Trying to do my Kenny Albert, but it might suck here. But
come on,
I can't do it. I haven't done it in 2 But anyway, the game's on CNBC. Check it out. I'm Kevin Lacey. You can find me on Twitter at Kevin Lacey22. You can find me at Silver Creek Sportsplex playing hockey in about an hour and a half. So thanks for having me on.
Excellent. Of course, you can always reach me at PuckGuy14. If you missed anything or you want to watch this crazy show again, you can hit us up at tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher. You can find us everywhere, whether it's iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, or YouTube. We have a bunch of content that was put up today. There is a Pucknologist being recorded right now as we speak, so that'll be up by tomorrow most likely, and we've definitely got more coming online, so definitely check us out on the web or on your favorite podcatcher.
Is there going to be a trade deadline special next week?
It's on Tuesday, right?
Monday. I'm not anticipating.
Quite possibly, because I do have store inventory overnight. So once I get off at 9 a.m., I will jump online and drink some coffee, probably. So with that, for Kevin Lacey, go to bed. You need some nap time before your game. Gentry, you've worked hard today. Get some rest. I'm Eric Curra. You can always follow me on Twitter at PuckGuy14. We will be back with you. Maybe we'll do an After Dark following USA Canada for women's gold medal. That's tomorrow night on
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock on NBCSN. Of course, we'll definitely be back for you Thursday following the Sharks and Predators. We might have somebody locally to check in after the game. Not just saying, it's quite possible. And of course, after that, for Friday, for Chicago. So for Kevin, for Gentry, I'm Eric. Thank you for watching. As they go to the intermission, perfect timing for us to go off the air. Great.
Where's the dun-dun-dun-dun?
Oh, sorry, my bad. Keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal, and we will see you after the game on Thursday.